Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by saying that growth and change often require silence. Not because we're avoiding something, but because we're finally prioritizing ourselves. There are moments in life when the most powerful thing you can do is step back and let absence do the talking. Today we're diving into 5 undeniable signs that no contact is working. When no contact starts working, one of the first and most profound changes you'll notice is emotional clarity. This clarity isn't just about feeling better, it's about reclaiming control over your mind and emotions. In the chaos of a challenging relationship, emotions often cloud judgment. You find yourself consumed by overthinking, replaying conversations, and questioning your worth. But when you step back and implement no contact, the storm begins to calm. At first, it may feel unsettling, like a sudden quiet after a long period of noise. This is normal. Your mind, which was once preoccupied with constant interaction or the hope of reconciliation, now has the space to breathe. And as that space grows, so does your ability to think clearly. The doubts that once overwhelmed you start to dissolve, replaced by an inner voice you may not have heard in a while, your own. This clarity allows you to see the situation for what it truly is, not through the lens of heightened emotions or unresolved attachments. You begin to identify patterns, behaviors, and truths you might have ignored in the past. You realize where you compromised too much, where you gave without receiving, and where you overlooked red flags in the name of love or loyalty. More importantly, this emotional clarity opens the door to self-awareness. You start to ask yourself questions that matter. What do I truly deserve? Am I being true to myself? What do I need to heal? These questions lead to answers that empower you, reminding you that your value does not depend on someone else's validation. No contact gives you the opportunity to rebuild your emotional foundation. Instead of reacting out of hurt, you respond to life from a place of strength. Your emotions stabilize and the weight of confusion lifts. This isn't just a sign that no contact is working, it's proof that you're beginning to heal. Emotional clarity is not the end goal, it's the beginning of rediscovering who you truly are. When you choose no contact, one of the most powerful transformations you experience is the strengthening of your self-worth. In the aftermath of a challenging relationship or situation, it's easy to lose sight of your own value. You might have found yourself compromising too much, tolerating behavior that didn't align with your values, or constantly seeking approval just to feel enough. But with no contact, something profound begins to happen. You start to reclaim what was always yours, your self-esteem. At first, this process might feel unfamiliar or even uncomfortable. For so long, your sense of worth may have been tied to how someone else treated you or how they responded to you. When you remove that external feedback, it can feel like a void. But this is where the real work begins, and it's a beautiful thing. In the silence of no contact, you're no longer looking outward for validation. Instead, you're forced to turn inward and ask, who am I without this person? What do I bring to the table, and why have I doubted that it's enough? As you spend more time in this space, you start to see yourself differently. You remember the qualities that make you unique, the kindness you offer, the strength you've shown in difficult times, the dreams you hold close to your heart. These aren't things that someone else gives you, they're parts of you that have always existed, even if they've been overshadowed by self-doubt or unhealthy dynamics. With every day of no contact, you reclaim pieces of yourself. You recognize that your value isn't determined by someone else's ability to see it. It's inherent. You begin to set boundaries not as a way to push others away, but as a way to protect the person you're rediscovering. You no longer feel the need to overextend yourself just to prove you're worthy of love or respect. Instead, you know that you deserve those things simply because you exist. This shift in perspective changes everything. You stop chasing after people who don't appreciate you and start gravitating toward those who do. You begin to make decisions based on what's best for you rather than what will keep someone else happy. And most importantly, you start to feel whole again, not because someone else has filled a void, but because you've learned to fill it yourself. The strengthening of your self-worth isn't about arrogance or pride, it's about recognizing that you are enough exactly as you are. No contact gives you the time and space to reconnect with this truth, and as you do, you become more confident, more resilient, and more at peace. You start to walk through life with your head held high, not because of anyone else's approval, but because you finally approve of yourself. That is the power of reclaiming your self-esteem, and it's one of the clearest signs that no contact is working. When you initiate no contact, one of the most fascinating shifts occurs not within you alone, but within the other party. They begin to notice your absence in ways that ripple through their thoughts and emotions, often in ways they didn't expect. It's human nature to take things for granted when they feel certain and secure, and your presence might have been one of those things. But when you step away, that certainty vanishes, and in its place, there's a noticeable void. At first, they might not react. They may convince themselves that your absence doesn't affect them or that you'll eventually reach out. But as time passes, a subtle, often undeniable realization sets in: something is missing. This isn't just about losing a person, it's about losing the connection, the energy, and the stability you brought into their life. Your absence creates space for them to reflect, and that reflection can be uncomfortable. They begin to question their own decisions, wondering if they underestimated your worth or misunderstood the value you added. Memories start to surface of your kindness, your support, and the moments you were there when they needed you most. In contrast, they're confronted with the reality of your absence. Those texts you used to send, they're not coming anymore. The effort you consistently made to bridge gaps, that's no longer there. Suddenly they're left with the consequences of their choices, and those consequences can be sobering. This shift in attention isn't always immediate or dramatic. It often unfolds gradually as the other party starts to notice how the dynamics of their life have changed. They may begin to wonder if they've made a mistake or if they misjudged the situation. Even if they don't express it outwardly, these questions linger in their mind, creating a subtle pull toward introspection. In some cases, this realization might prompt them to take action. They may reach out, trying to reconnect or explain themselves. But in other cases, the shift in their attention is internal, a silent acknowledgement of what they've lost. This is not about revenge or manipulation. It's simply a natural response to your decision to step back and prioritize yourself. Your absence speaks volumes in a way words never could. It communicates that you value yourself enough to walk away from anything that doesn't align with your self-respect or well-being. This unspoken message is powerful, and it resonates deeply with the other person. It forces them to see you in a new light, not as someone who is always available, but as someone who knows their worth and isn't afraid to stand by it. This shift in their attention isn't about them missing you alone, it's about them questioning themselves. Your choice to go no contact creates an opportunity for them to reflect, to grow, and perhaps to realize what they could have done differently. Whether they act on that realization or not is their journey. But one thing is clear: your absence is felt, and it leaves a lasting impression. That is the undeniable power of stepping back and letting no contact work. When you embrace no contact, something extraordinary happens. Your energy, once consumed by the emotional turmoil of the past, begins to shift inward. Instead of pouring yourself into a situation or relationship that no longer serves you, you redirect that energy toward building a stronger, wiser, and more empowered version of yourself. This acceleration of personal growth is one of the clearest signs that no contact is working. In the beginning, it might feel like you're simply surviving, pushing through each day, resisting the urge to reach out and trying to make sense of your emotions. But as time goes on, you notice something remarkable. The energy you once spent on overthinking, worrying, or trying to fix what was broken is now available for something far more meaningful. You start to invest in yourself in ways you might have neglected before. This growth isn't just about learning new skills or achieving external goals, though those things may happen too. It's about internal transformation. You begin to explore who you are outside of the relationship or dynamic that once defined you. What are your passions? What are your values? What are the dreams you set aside while focusing on someone else? These questions lead you down a path of self-discovery, and as you answer them, you uncover layers of strength and potential you may not have realized you had. With this newfound focus, your priorities shift. You start setting goals that align with your true self, whether that's advancing in your career, nurturing your health, pursuing hobbies, or strengthening your relationships with friends and family. Every step you take in these directions reinforces a sense of accomplishment and self-worth. You're no longer seeking validation from others, you're creating it within yourself. This period of growth also gives you the chance to heal. You confront the wounds and patterns that may have led you to tolerate less than you deserved in the past. Instead of avoiding pain, you face it head-on, using it as fuel for transformation. As you work through these emotions, you become more resilient, more self-aware, and better equipped to create healthier connections in the future. Another profound aspect of this growth is the realization that your happiness and fulfillment don't depend on anyone else. You learn to enjoy your own company, to celebrate your victories, and to find peace in your solitude. This independence isn't about isolating yourself, it's about recognizing that you are whole on your own. When you reach this point, you're no longer driven by the need to prove yourself or to win someone back. Instead, you're focused on becoming the best version of you, not for anyone else, but because you deserve it. No contact becomes more than just a boundary, it becomes a catalyst for transformation. It's a time when you reclaim your energy, rebuild your confidence, and rediscover your purpose. You're no longer stuck in the past or defined by the pain of what was. Instead, you're moving forward with clarity, strength, and a renewed sense of self. This is the power of redirecting your energy toward personal growth, and it's one of the most profound outcomes of choosing yourself. In the journey of no contact, you rediscover yourself and reclaim your power. Emotional clarity clears the chaos. Self-worth grows as you recognize your value, and the other party feels the undeniable impact of your absence. Most importantly, your energy redirects to personal growth, transforming you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. This isn't just about healing, it's about thriving. No contact works because it shifts the focus back to where it belongs, on you. Remember, your worth isn't determined by anyone else, it's in your hands, and the best is yet to come.